It started as a whisper online, small, unconfirmed posts that grew louder with every passing hour. Before we get into the full shocking truth behind Dylan Wang's long-awaited response, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any new updates about your favorite stars. Because this time, what Dylan said has completely flipped the entire story surrounding Shen Yu's so-called scandal, and the internet is still reeling from his words. For weeks, the entertainment world had been buzzing about Shen Yu. A single rumor had spiraled into something massive, threatening her reputation, her career, and even her personal life. At first, everyone wondered where Dylan Wang was in all this. The man who had shared years of connection with Shen Yu, both on screen and behind closed doors, stayed completely silent. Fans begged for him to speak, to defend her, to explain what was really going on. But Dylan, calm, focused, mysterious, chose silence. Until now. When Dylan finally broke that silence, the world stopped scrolling for a moment. His words didn't come through a press conference, or a media statement, or even a management announcement. Instead, he chose a quiet, heartfelt post, a message written late at night that instantly set social media ablaze. The caption was short, but the impact was enormous. You don't protect someone by shouting louder than the noise. You protect them by standing beside them when no one else will. That was it. One line. But with that one line, Dylan Wang shattered the narrative that had been built around Shen Yu for weeks. Suddenly, everything changed. To understand the weight of his words, you have to understand the chaos that came before them. It all began when a blurry photo surfaced online, an image that allegedly showed Shen Yu with someone at a private dinner. The internet, always hungry for drama, quickly spun stories about secret relationships, career betrayals, and even hidden motives. None of it was confirmed, but the wave of speculation was relentless. Within hours, Shen Yu's name was everywhere. People judged, debated, and dissected every part of her life, demanding answers she never owed to anyone. Shen Yu herself didn't respond immediately. She continued working quietly, posting nothing, saying nothing. But as the storm grew, fans began to worry. They noticed she had turned off her comments, cancelled appearances, and avoided interviews. That silence, though dignified, was misinterpreted by some as guilt. And in that toxic environment, where gossip moves faster than truth, Shen Yu was dragged into headlines she never asked for. Meanwhile, Dylan watched from the sidelines. Friends say he was furious, not at Shen Yu, but at the way people were treating her. Yet, he knew that speaking too early could make things worse. The two had shared so much history together that anything he said would immediately fuel more rumors. He wanted to wait until the right time, until the truth was clearer, and emotions weren't clouded by outrage. And when that moment finally came, Dylan didn't hold back. After days of silence, he took to his social media and wrote what fans now call one of the most powerful and emotional statements in his entire career. "I've known Shen Yu for years," he wrote. "I've seen her kindness when no one was watching, her strength when she was hurting, and her honesty when it would have been easier to lie. She doesn't need to prove her worth to anyone. I stand with her, not because I have to, but because I know who she truly is." Those words hit everyone like lightning. Within minutes, his post was shared hundreds of thousands of times. Fans who had been divided by rumors suddenly united in support. The comment section overflowed with messages like "This is real love, finally, someone said the truth," and "Dylan, you're a man of integrity." But that wasn't all. In an exclusive interview just a few days later, Dylan went even deeper. When asked directly about Shen Yu's situation, he didn't dodge the question. He looked straight at the interviewer and said, "The hardest part about fame is watching lies spread faster than love. What happened to Shen Yu shouldn't happen to anyone. Sometimes, we forget that behind the headlines, there's a human being. And she's one of the best ones I know." The room reportedly went silent. No one expected him to be that raw, that open. For years, Dylan had built a reputation for being careful with his words, for protecting his privacy fiercely. But in that moment, all of that melted away. He wasn't speaking as a celebrity, he was speaking as someone who deeply cared. Immediately after his interview aired, the tone of the public conversation changed. Articles that once framed Shen Yu negatively began reconsidering their headlines. Influencers and commentators who had once spread speculation started apologizing publicly. Fans began trending the hashtag #WeStandWithShenYue, which racked up millions of mentions in just hours. But perhaps the most emotional reaction came from Shen Yu herself. What's more surprising is how Dylan handled the aftermath. Instead of taking advantage of the trending attention, he disappeared again. No interviews, no follow-up posts, no media appearances. It was as if he had said what he needed to say and quietly stepped back, letting his words do the work. That silence made the statement even more powerful. He didn't defend her for publicity, he did it because he meant it. Weeks later, Shen Yu finally returned to work. She appeared radiant, calm, and stronger than ever. During one press event, when a reporter tried to bring up the scandal again, she smiled politely and said, "Sometimes, people say things they don't mean. But the truth always finds its way back." That subtle confidence made fans cheer all over again. She didn't deny, didn't explain, she simply rose above it. And everyone knew Dylan's support had played a part in that strength. In the following months, the two were spotted together at a private event, laughing naturally as if the storm had never existed. Fans went wild, saying, they survived everything together. And though neither confirmed any romantic relationship, their connection was undeniable, one built on years of trust and shared history. Behind all the drama, there's a deeper message that resonated with millions: how easy it is for false narratives to destroy someone, and how vital it is to have someone brave enough to speak up when it matters most. Dylan Wang reminded the world that silence can be dangerous, but truth, spoken with love, can heal. To this day, his post remains one of the most discussed topics in the Chinese entertainment world. People quote his line, "You don't protect someone by shouting louder than the noise," as a symbol of loyalty and strength. It's printed on fan art, embroidered on banners, and even used in emotional tributes dedicated to both stars. What Dylan did wasn't just damage control, it was a declaration of faith. In a world where many walk away when things get messy, he chose to stand firm. He reminded everyone that real love, whether it's friendship, loyalty, or something deeper, isn't about convenience. It's about courage. And for Shen Yu, his support didn't just defend her, it restored her spirit. Insiders say she's been smiling more, working more confidently, and reconnecting with fans again. Her latest posts show a renewed energy, as if she's finally free from the shadows of judgment. And through it all, fans keep commenting the same thing beneath her photos: Dylan was right about you. In the end, Dylan Wang's statement wasn't just about a scandal. It was about standing up against cruelty, choosing empathy, and reminding everyone that even in the loudest chaos, one honest voice can still change everything. And maybe that's why people still talk about it today. Because sometimes, it only takes one person brave enough to speak the truth, and one person strong enough to keep believing, to turn a story of scandal into a story of redemption.